Hello and welcome back to CSGB Racing. We are here for the 10th round today of 12, and we're here at the circuit of Azerbaijan. Bear with me one moment, I will try and get the stream link out. That one there. Cool, there we go. I'm going to chat right then. Round 10, it's the sprint race today. I missed yesterday, I do apologise for that. But I did watch the race back, and well done. And also thank you to Delvi and Abzi for covering for me. You did an amazing job, guys, so well done for that. I did watch the race back as well, so I am most likely up to date with what happened last night. If you may remember, Timmy won from Hindle, and then B-Boy were on his debut. Of course, coming home in P3. Rainman P4. Jay Prentice, Tribe, Netski. So an off day for him. Although I did see what happened with him, but I won't mention it. If you want to know what happened to Netski's race, go and have a look. Cobalt as well on his debut for Ferrari, finishing P8. Fester P9, Brown on his debut for Mercedes P10. They were the only finishers. After that we had Romsey, Oscar Sandblom, who was Olga Trainman, so thank you for changing your name, mate, that helps me out massively. Vapor Trench down in what is technically P13. Another retirement, and then Ekeland, it says DSQ next to his name. I think I know why that is. But again, I won't go into it. Move on from what's happened. So it will be Vapor Trench starting on pole tonight. And obviously I think this is going to be the highest start Netski has started in a sprint race. He'll be right in the middle of the pack. Depending on how many we have. How many is it? 13 for tonight, okay. And we had 14 last night, but I don't think Ekeland is here. A very quick check. No, he's not, okay. Possibly a race ban for him. That's been spoken to privately because I haven't seen anything public. There might have been something, I just missed it. Because I'm good at doing stuff like that. We're finally getting to session, of course. This is just a 25% race, as it is the sprint race. Alpha Tauri can win the Constructors tonight. I was told what they need to do to win that. I'll get that up very quickly for you. Where was it? Here it is. So if Alpha Tauri score 19 tonight, which of course is possible, but obviously it's reduced points tonight, so it might be difficult. And then apparently Mercedes need to outscore them by 9 points, which again possible. Timmy and Brown of course repping the German mark, but then of course Netski and Rainman in that Alpha Tauri more than likely win it, but of course we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anything can happen. Of course it is Baku, we are on a street circuit. It's very much nearing the end of the season now as well. 5 races left I believe for F1. We still have loads in F2, obviously we missed the sprint race last week. So we've got to do 2 races tonight to make up for that, which should be fine. Actually, I don't believe there's a stream for the F2 still, which is a real shame. Because the races, from well, based on my personal perspective, have been absolutely banging. But of course, if a stream can't happen, then a stream can't happen. There you can see it is going to be Vapor Trench on pole ahead of Oscar. Romsey, Brown, Fester, Cobalt, Netski, Tribe, Joe Prentice, Rainman, B-Boy, Hindle, and then Timmy. Starting down at the back, get the tyres on the screen for you now. Let's get everything else up, track map and telemetry. Take that off now. So top 2, Trench and Oscar, going to be starting on the mediums, along with Brown in P4 and Hindle down in P12, so trying the alternate strategy for those 5. everyone else in the soft tyres, which is understandable. We wouldn't use hards here, maybe unless damage on lap 1 for the medium guys. Is that Trench P1? I believe that is Trench P1. We will wait for the actual race, of course, if he holds it into turn 1. Let's wait and see. Castle section, cool. I think a couple drivers out last night from what I saw. Just see if that happens tonight. Of course, it is a sprint race. Everyone is twice as aggressive because you have half the time. A couple cars being disqualified there. Oh, actually 3 cars. Brown, Foster and Cobalt. You can see one stops, doesn't matter on your strategy from what you start on. Of course, there's only 13 laps, so that is understandable. These top 3 guys just seem to have left the rest of the pack. Not sure why Netsky's so far back. May have had to brake to avoid hitting the back of Cobalt. Which explains that gap. He's going to have a lot warmer tyres right at the back. Prediction to win this, I'm probably going to go with Netsky. Based on his pace last night. He actually finished despite an incident which I will still refrain from mentioning. Of course, if you want to check it out, you can go watch yesterday's stream. I believe it's on Absy's personal channel, which I believe is AbsyXD. A little plug there for you, mate. But that's over there if you want to check that out. Netsky actually finished, I think, P3 in the end, but then got a penalty, dropping him to, well, as you can see, P7, I believe, is where he finished. We now wait for the lights. If we could get a good camera angle, please, Cody's, that would be fantastic. Stay on board with the Renault for now. Okay, that's what we're going to do with this view. We're miles away, but that's okay. Overtake enabled for Trench at the start as the 5 lights are on. And we are underway now for the Baku sprint race. And will Trench lead into turn 1? I believe that is Trench P1 as he comes through turn 1. It's like Oscar hit the wall a little bit on the inside, which pushed him wide into Romsey, and then we now have a Ferrari 2-3, but very nearly come together into turn 2. And damage, no, I think they got away damage free, but they will run side by side down towards turn 3. As Tryby and Romsey side by side as well. First time I've seen Tryby for a while, so good to have you racing again, mate. You might have been here more frequently, I've just not acknowledged you, but he's now up to P4. Netsky has dropped backwards. Okay, that's... we're not used to seeing that. Does he have damage from the start there? Or what's happened to your championship winner? He's already won it. Yes, I think that is damage. Front right end plate. Doesn't appear to be on the car. However, everyone has survived the castle for the first time, so that's good to see. Got a feeling Cobalt's going to catch back up to the trench here. And now Oscar's going to try and keep Tryby behind them for as long as possible. Of course, 2 drivers on different strategies. Let's just wait to see how it turns out. Tryby will be faster at this point in the race. However, Oscar will be quicker in the second half of the race when he switches over to the other tyre. That's a very aggressive move out of the slipstream from Tryby. I think he nearly lost the car then, but just about gathered it up before anything happened. And I think they're possibly 3 wide behind this. Where was that? Someone into the pit lane. That is... I'm trying to figure out who that is. 3 cars into the pits. Fester, Rainman and B-Boy Worm. Shown to those guys. Probably more than likely front wing damage to pit at the end of lap 1. As that's going to be Romsey having a little look up the inside of Oscar into turn 3. Oscar definitely knew he was there, was a little bit cautious of turning in, but still chopped across the front wing of that Alfa Romeo. Apparently blue flags are being shown, no idea why, but they'll run side by side now through turns 5 and 6. And Romsey now up ahead, of course, on the softer tyres of the 2. This first stint was always going to be challenging for Oscar. So he's lost a couple of places there. I think started P2. Got back a little bit. Last night's race winner, Timmy, into the 6th now, started on the soft compound tyres. Last night's 2nd place, Hindle. Hoping for another good result tonight. He started on mediums and has kept it clean at the start. Something he did last night very well. Everyone else seemed to crash around him, pick up damage, penalties, whatever. Hindle just drove through it all as if it didn't happen. Nevsky now P8. Was I right with that damage, or actually is his car fine? I think his car is fine as he moves up past Hindle now. Up into P7, I think the car is fine. Possibly just a cautious lap 1 from Nevsky. Jay Prentice, however, will be next up to take on his teammate. Actually, no, he won't be, because Hindle's gone back up the inside of Nevsky. They get very close into turn 1. We can't see anything because of the camera angle. But I think that's going to be position gone to Nevsky there. As Jay Prentice very nearly runs into the back of his teammate through turn 2. As they run now down towards turn 3, of course the second of 2 DRS zones, or the first, depending on how you count. Them. However, it is very important to the guys that started on the mediums that they keep it clean in terms of no damage. If they get damage at the start here, that could absolutely ruin their race because they won't be able to put the softs on at the end, or they'll lose more time now due to a lack of downforce. Nevsky back up to where he started again. I don't know why he dropped down, as Colbert has left the session. It's a real shame for the Ferrari driver, of course, started somewhere. Started down in P6. Currently running P2 and has disconnected. He was also within a second of Trench. So now Tribe's going to have a go at him. I would assume it would be quite an easy overtake for the Red Bull, but he's going to go side by side through turn 17 with an AI. That is brave, but he decides to back out in the end of that. To run now down towards a very long straight towards turn 1. Easy overspeed there for the Red Bull. And I think Romesy's going to have a go here as well as they come down towards turn 1. He's hit the back of him. And that's now damage to the Alfa Romeo. I think the braking point of the Ferrari just completely caught him out there. As Timmy swoops up into P3. He's going to go up the inside as well into turn 2. Timmy there, very opportunistic, but it's worked. He's now up 10 places from the start. As they all get past the Ferrari. And that's now front wing damage for Oscar. A second car driving into the back of someone. Now I'm not sure who he hit. I think it was Nevsky, I want to say. He wasn't his teammate, luckily. But that's now Oscar's race ruined. What tyres was he on? He was on mediums as well. Softs, they might go to the end from here, but it will definitely be a challenge. Nevsky now up into P4. Of course, on the soft tyres. Been a very good start for Timmy and Tribe. Both starting on soft tyres. Making up a load of positions. Just have a quick check for you now. Tribe started P8. He's now running P2, and Timmy started down at the back end for winning last night. And is now P3. Shari picks up a time penalty. Where's he done that to then? I think the exit of 16. I know you can't run over the curb. Cobble has joined back now, but his car down in 8th place. That is going to be a sore one to take. What could have been here tonight? Nevsky, I think, in the DRS of Timmy as well, as someone was into the pit lane. That is Romsey, of course, broke his front wing. This point 1 lap ago. And does Oscar pit as well? Yes, I believe he is. And also Brown into the pits in the Mercedes. I do believe, as it stands, AlphaTauri will be the CSGB F1 Season 2 Constructors Champions. Of course, to go with Nevsky's Drivers' Championship. Not a bad thing there to do the double. What tyres are those cars going onto? Hard tyres for Brown, soft tyres for Oscar, okay. Interesting there. It's going to go 8 laps on the soft compounded tyre. That might be an ask of him. I know this tyre is quite slippery, or this track is quite slippery. So tyre zag on the rear, especially for me, is absolutely horrendous. Timmy gets very close to the wall there on the exit of 15 as they drop down the hill. Into 16. Got a feeling Nevsky might have a look here, however he is massively under batteried compared to the Mercedes ahead of him. We'll have the DRS however, and I think Timmy might have it on Tribe. Yes he does, the rear ring does open on the AlphaTauri. As Tribe and Nevsky into the pit lane, Timmy continues for another lap. Trench will be going for a couple more laps. Of course, after starting on the mediums, race looking very good for him as long as he can keep it clean. Hope that does not give him the commentator's curse, because I'm going to look like an idiot. Timmy and Hindle, last night's podium sitters. I believe last night was Timmy's first win, and it was Hindle's first podium. Both of them, both currently running in podium places, of course in reverse to how they started, but same order as they finished last night. Tribe then has rejoined in P4, Nevsky in P5. I think everyone else came into the pits then as well, to be honest. After a few stops instead of easy to tell. Yes, everyone else is pitted. Joe Prender's putting on mediums as he actually gets very close to Fester, and that's Rain Man into the back of the Haas. Front ring damage now for the AlphaTauri. To come down towards the start of the second sector. When are we going to see those front three coming into the pit lane? I think Timmy is on soft. So potentially this lap with the Mercedes. However, I can possibly see Hindle and Trench going 2 or 3 more laps before putting on the soft tyres. And that's Fester into the wall. That's got to be damaged, surely. Timmy does pit. Yes, it is damage on the front of that Haas. So Rain Man gets past him. Cobalt will also try and take this opportunity. As if he's gonna go side by side. He stuck his car up the inside into 17 or 18. But he has made that work. A very, very brave move there, but it has been worked off. And then I think that's Romsey getting involved as well. So they briefly go freeway down the pit straight. Fester of course into the pit lane to replace that front wing. Rain Man's going to continue with his damage. Romsey gaining 2 places there. Timmy has rejoined in P5. Of course, has slightly fresher mediums taken to the end of the race. Sweeping on the top now to come into the pit lane. And I think Nevsky might take the lead here. It's definitely going to be tight. I don't actually know how long a pit stop takes. But he's going to be ahead of Hindle. And he might be ahead of Trench. But of course those 2 drivers will be on the softer compound of the 2. Or 3, but no one uses the hard. I think 1 driver in this race is, but that's a mistake from Romsey into the car. So I think he just clipped the inside wall with the back of the car. From what it looked like, the back end might have just snapped. I think he actually did quite well there considering the circumstances, not to completely bin it. As your race leader Vapor Trench comes into the pit lane. Cobalt also with that damage. Did I catch that? I might have caught that. Hindle also into the pit lane. And that's just the fastest lap of the race. He's on the outside of Trench now. He can see that Renault just ahead of him. Of course, Trench with soft tyres, also fresher tyres. And I think Hindle's going to lose out to his teammate here as well. He is indeed. So was that a front wing change for Hindle? My camera's going to change. There we go. Oh, was yellow flags on the pit straight? That is Cobalt out of the race. Must what happened there to the Ferrari driver. Romsey, by the looks of it, is going to continue. Despite the damage. Unless he's already pitted. No, he hasn't. Okay. So yeah, Hindle there dropping from P2 down to P6. I think he was running 7th before the pit stop, so not really a surprise, to be honest. He's gained a position, in fact, overall. Now there's his teammate ahead of him, who is... No, that's a little bit wrong there for myself. Jay Prentice is not right behind Timmy. Timmy is right behind Tribe. A little bit caught out there by the gaps. And off the battle up the front, Neski does seem to be closing in on Trench. So that's fastest Sector 2 as well in his pursuit of the Renault driver. Will have DRS as well. Unless the Renault can break it by the time they exit the chicane. But Neski already closing as they run down the pit straight. A little bit of weaving already from the Renault. I'm not sure Neski's going to have too much slipstream from this far back. But Trench definitely aware the AlphaTauri is behind him. In terms of the battery levels, Trench should be fine. Neski with 10% on average. You know, it goes up and down. Vapor Trench with 50%. Obviously, they don't know unless they're watching this and they've just seen that. They don't know what each other have in terms of ERS amount, I guess is the word to use. Timmy and Try to be really close as well. Right, for the final podium step. I don't know where penalties are coming to this. I saw Tribe get a penalty. So at the moment he will be losing P3. No matter if Timmy gets past or not, and Timmy will know about that penalty. As the two get very close there into turn 7. There's a Williams off, that's B-Boy 1 at turn 3. I'm not sure what's happened there. Front wing's okay, so possibly just missed his braking point. I think I saw a close battle. Where was that? Yes, Rain Man and Romsey. Two cars continuing with front wing damage. Both to the same side, so these cars are still equal. They both lack downforce, so... Oscar, I believe his wing is okay. He might try and catch them towards the end of the race. Still 4 laps to go. Back up at the front then, as they come down to the pit straight. Vapor Trench doesn't have as much of a gap this time, so Neski will be getting that aid of the slipstream. They both set a powerful lap, so fast lap for both of them. But of course Neski's was a little bit quicker. Behind them as well, Tribe and Timmy still very close. Hindle and Jay Prentice have swapped places as well as they come down the pit straight. I missed that battle on the mini-map as the dots pretty much merged together when I had to look at the map. Possibly orchestrated there. Hindle maybe with a chance of catching P4, which will of course help the team and constructors. Rayman and Rhymes are still very close as well as they head down towards turn 3. And I think Oscar is slowly catching them. Rhymes goes up the inside, however. Big lock up on the brakes, but does get the car stopped before the inevitable wall. And B-Boy has retired from the race. As it stands, it will just be faster, not getting any points tonight. But of course, someone else can still drop out, promoting him up into that wonderful P10 position. Another lock up there from Romsey. Don't know if he actually is locking up. It's not the most accurate of thing on the screen as Rayman gets very close to the outside wall there, the counter section. Very close to not losing a wheel or more of his wing there. Massive lost out to Romsey. And we'll now have Oscar right on the back of him. We'll go back up to that battle for the lead, however. Look forward to Neski. Gap seems to be a little bigger than it was last time. If not, it's the same. No more purple laps from the pair of them, at least this time around, now with 3 laps left to go. So we'll try and beat Timmy. Nothing happening this time around either. And then Hindle and Jay Prentice behind them, 5th and 6th. So solid points, all 4 racing points. And then behind them we're going to have Oscar and Rayman side by side down towards turn 1. pretty easy move for the Ferrari. They would have got a better run out of 16 and then also through 18 and 19. And slipstream, of course, all the way down the straight gives you a massive aid here. As now the Ferrari driver will try and catch up to Romsey to take P7. Try and keep an eye on these 3 battles up ahead. Plus battle for first and second, third and fourth, and then fifth and sixth. Although I don't think we'll see much of a fight between the 2 Pink Panthers. Maybe towards the end if Hindle's soft tyres just decide to give up. But I don't believe they will. So we should be fine there. Nasty looks even closer to Trench this time. Trench still has that more still has a higher battery percentage, but it's not as much as he had before. As Nasty actually runs out of battery as he comes through turn 20. And they run down towards the first corner once more. 2 laps now to go for the Baku sprint race. As the drivers come through turn 1, no changes just yet. Troby and Timmy as well. No position changes yet. As I said, Troby does have a 3-second penalty. And I do believe he is the only one to have one. At least he's the only one that I've seen and remembered. However, the 2 getting very close down towards turn 3. Is Timmy close enough to think about a lunge? Might have been, but thinks completely otherwise. He sits behind. As now Romsey and Oscar getting a little bit closer. 2 of them have now dropped Rainman ever so slightly. We come now down into turn 3. And round turn number 4 to complete the first sector. Fester back into the pit lanes, possibly a fastest lap attempt from him. So head back up to the battle for P1 then. Neski this time even closer than he has been. Again, still lacking a little bit in the battery department. However, I think Trench knows he's closer. He's used a lot more of his battery this time around. As we come through turn 20, it isn't really a turn, but it's fast as one, so we're going to refer to it. Transitional out of battery, so he used everything he had to get out of turn 16. Down into turn 1, Neski not close enough to do anything. They are now on to the final lap of the race. Neski gets a little bit squirmy coming out of turn 2. The back end stepping out a little bit. Tyres might start to be going off for both drivers. Now down into turn 3, little lock up from Neski. I think Neski might get it over the line if he saves his battery, but he still has less. So he's going to need to hope he has fuel, which he's not in the red yet. He's going to need fuel and whatever tyres he's got. DRS will also help. And Trench has to get a good exit out of turn 16 this time around. Neski putting pressure on, a little bit of a mistake from the Renault driver there as they climb up over turn 11. Both drivers now with the red flashing fuel icon down in the bottom right. Now let's go through, of course, taking advantage of the little corner cut you can get there at turn 15. And this is where it's important. Seems like both drivers got a little bit of understeer there through turn 16 as the exit. The final proper corner come through 18 and 19. Trench looks to have it here. No overtake to deploy for Neski. Trench as well has now run out. DRS will come into play here, but I don't think it's enough for Neski, so Vapor Trench started on pole and will cross the line to take, I think, his first race of the season. I'm not entirely sure. Neski taking P2. So I'm happy with that. P7 up to second. And the battle for P3 is side by side as they come across the line. However, Timmy does get that. I think on penalties, Timmy would have had it anyway. But it's always nice to get the position on track. Now Hindle's going to take P5. teammate. Maybe a mistake there, or he just lacked pace towards the end. Finishing in P6. Romsey holds on to P7 ahead of Oscar. And then Rayman will come home quite a lonely P9 in the end. So we wait for Brown to cross the line now. Debut week for the Mercedes driver. I believe he is also the only debutant driver to have finished both races. I think he finished yesterday anyway. So now I'll just wait for Fester. That's on possibly a fastest lap here. He's using all of his battery. What can the Haas driver do as he comes up to the line? I don't think he'll get the point as he's not inside the points. As he crosses the line, he does get the fast lap of the race. So maybe a little bit of pride to take away from this. I have got to wrap this up rather quickly, as I have my own race starting in, well, it's pretty much as soon as they can get the lobby turned around. So I will run through this as soon as I can. Just wait for the game. Give me a little bit of helping hand here. So you can see your podium trio: Trench from Netski and then Timmy. Let's move over to the race classification course. Provisional. I didn't see anything to be warrant of a penalty. David Trench, after a pretty torrid race last night. Netski then in P2 to extend the championship lead, although he already has the championship. Timmy rounding up the final step on the podium to make it 2 podiums here in the streets of Baku. Triby then in P4 ahead of Hindle, J. Prentice, Romsey, Oscar Sandblom, Rainman and Brown picking up the final point. Fester in P11 then with the fastest lap. Don't know if that will account for anything as he finished outside the points, but it's just a nice takeaway, isn't it? And then B-Boy Worm and Cobalt, the only 2 retirements from tonight. But that will be it from me. I'll be back next Monday, at least hopefully, with the penultimate week of Season 2 of CSGB. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like on the stream as well, share it as well with your friends. Help the league out massively. Apart from that, I will catch you next week. I don't believe there's F2 streams again. Unfortunately, still can't find a team for that. So I'll catch you next Monday with round 11. We'll see you then.